welcome back to my channel. So this video is all about fun day trips that you can take from LA. These are all within about 2.5 hours max from Los Angeles, and to me that's like kind of my maximum amount of time that I would go for a day trip, just because I don't want to spend like the whole day driving. So I think if it was much longer than that, I'd probably want to get like a hotel or something, or maybe camp somewhere. But all of these places are within around that time frame, and I have 10 of them. Some of them are pretty common places to go, but in case you're new to the area or you're just visiting and want to go on a bunch of random day trips or something, I just thought it would be nice to have them all like in one place. The first one is Joshua Tree National Park, and I know a lot of people have been there. A lot of people have not been there. It's a really fun park. It's about 130 miles and 2.5 hours from LA. Definitely depends on traffic. Sometimes it can be a lot longer than that. I've definitely had like a 4-hour drive before when it was like, I think it was like a Friday evening when we went there, and I don't recommend doing that. So you definitely have to be careful about when you go. That kind of relates to all of these trips. I've been to Joshua Tree, I think 4 times. And I really enjoy this park because there's so many different trails and lots of different like terrains. There's the Joshua trees and cactus garden, Keys View, and all of the bouldery areas where you can hike, and some people go rock climbing. And I just feel like it's a really nice day trip because there's a lot of different things to do in the park. So it can take like days if you wanted to, or it could just take a couple of hours depending on how much time you want to spend there. And there are a lot of places in the area that you can get food if you need to. Along with that is Palm Springs. You can do this as a separate trip, or you can go to both places in one day, which I've done both things. Palm Springs is about 105 miles from LA and about 2 hours. It's a little bit far, but it's not too bad. And same thing goes for traffic. And Palm Springs has a lot of stuff to do. You can eat out, go shopping. There's a really cool garden, and there's the aerial tramway, which is really cool. I went on that one time and I would love to go again, but I don't know, Palm Springs just has a ton of different things that you can do. Number 3 is Santa Barbara. That's 95 miles and about 2 hours. Santa Barbara is a really fun town. Well, I guess it's a city. It's a really fun city, and there's a lot of things to do there. Santa Barbara has the old mission that you can visit and tour. I've done that before, and it has a bunch of really nice beaches and the pier that you can walk out on, and it has a bunch of cool restaurants. One of my favorite restaurants is actually located there, and a botanical garden, which I haven't been to yet. And then if you want to go a little further than Santa Barbara, you can visit Solvang, which is, I think, a Dutch settlement town that is about 130 miles and around 2.5 hours away. So that's probably the furthest day trip that I've taken. It's a pretty far drive, but I don't think you need that much time in Solvang, so I definitely think it could be a day trip. I love Solvang because the architecture just makes it so fun to walk around the streets. I don't even really have to be doing that much to enjoy it. I just love the atmosphere. There's a lot of cute little bakeries and some restaurants and boutiques and stuff to do gift shopping, and also this really cool museum that I went in, and lots of wineries, and yeah, I always love coming here. And then this one is super common, that is San Diego. I've never stayed in a hotel. Well, I have stayed in a hotel in San Diego, but not since living in California. So every single time I've gone, it's been a day trip. And I always feel like I have plenty of time there, so I think this makes a really good day trip from LA. And it's around 120 miles, and that's like around 2.5 hours. And sometimes the traffic can be pretty bad there as well, either leaving LA or as you get closer into San Diego. San Diego is obviously a really big city, so like any city, there's a ton of stuff to do. And some of my favorite things to do are go to the zoo because it's one of the best zoos in the country. And I love going to La Jolla Cove because it's beautiful. It's very touristy there. There's usually a lot of people, but it's definitely worth it. And it's fun to snorkel. This is when we went snorkeling with sharks, like right off the coast of one of the beaches. And San Diego also has really nice beaches. I also like Cabrillo National Monument, Sunset Cliffs, and of course, Balboa Park. Okay, and then for number 6, that's Big Bear Lake. Um, I've also never stayed there overnight. I only do a day trip when I go there, and it's not that far. It's about 95 miles or 2 hours. I think usually it's a little less than 2 hours when I go. I usually go on like a Saturday and leave pretty early in the morning. And there's a lot of things to do there if you like hiking or eating out, or you really like shopping and you're going like every single store. I've been to Big Bear Lake during 3 seasons, winter, fall, and spring, and I really enjoyed all of those times, but I think, in my opinion, the best time is the fall, just because it's kind of hard to get up there in the winter, and spring's not that special, but I feel like in the fall it's one of the only places you can see leaves around Southern California change. Some closer options are like beach cities in Orange County. My favorite is Laguna Beach, and that's around an hour away from LA, like maybe an hour and 10 minutes. And that's about 50 miles. Has, in my opinion, the nicest beaches, but I like that they're all coves. They're not so much like big sandy beach like you have in like Manhattan Beach and Venice and Santa Monica and all of those places. Laguna is more just like rocky coves that you can swim in, and I like going there because the water is so clear. Laguna Beach is literally my favorite beach in all of Southern California. There's actually several different beaches there, but it's my favorite place to go for the day to go to the beach. And I've been there, I don't even know how many times, definitely several times, probably around 20 or something, but we go there frequently in the summer just because I love like swimming underwater in the clear water. And I feel like the water seems like it gets warmer there. I'm not really sure if that's true, but it always feels easier for me to swim in the water because the water is so cold in Southern California. I don't know, but I really love going there, and they have a bunch of different boutiques for souvenirs, and I just think it's fun walking around and shopping. And then another option in Orange County is Newport Beach. I feel like there's a lot to do there. There's a lot of good shopping options. They have a really nice mall. That is around 45 miles or about an hour. And when I go to Newport Beach, I'm usually either going to the Fashion Island Mall, which is a really nice mall. I think it's actually my favorite. Or I'm going whale watching with Davies Locker, which is a company that does whale watching in Southern California. And they're a really great company. It's not very expensive. It's like, I think under $20, around 15 or something every time I've gone. And I think only one time I have not seen whales, and I highly recommend it. And I really love the Sherman Library and Gardens that's there. And then Catalina Island, which you do have to take a ferry to, and it's definitely, I think, the most expensive option, but it's pretty interesting, and you could do it as a day trip. A lot of people go there and get a hotel and like stay the night, which is what I did when I went, but I was looking at the ferry schedule, and you can take the earliest ferry, which is 6 a.m., and then come home on the latest ferry, which is 7:45 p.m., so that's like over 12 hours. Well, actually, it's not 12 hours that you would be there because I think it's maybe, I don't know how long the actual boat ride is. I think it's about 2 hours or maybe a little less, but Yeah, you could be there for like 10 hours and that's a really long time. Because honestly, there isn't really that much to do there. I felt like when we were there, we were kind of like looking for stuff to do and we had a lot of downtime. And in case you're wondering, I was looking at the ferry schedule and like a general fare is around $41 per way per person. So it's definitely like on the more expensive side, but it's not completely like insane. I've been to Catalina Island one time when my family came to visit. We stayed there for, I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 nights, but it was for my 30th birthday and it was really fun. It's a super pretty island and there's a lot to do in the city of Avalon. And then the last one, Lake Elsinore, specifically during like the springtime when the flowers are all in bloom. I went there for poppy season when it was like the super bloom, like a few years ago that I'm sure a lot of people remember. And it stayed in my mind as like one of my favorite things I've done in California. And if there's any flowers blooming, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. There's just a lot of fun hikes in the Walker Canyon and like different areas over there. So this is definitely one of the best places to see wildflowers in Southern California. A bloom like this does not happen every year. It doesn't happen very often at all, I don't think. And I got super lucky seeing it, but if you get the chance to see it, I definitely recommend it. And I think it makes a good day trip from LA because it's not very far and you don't really need that long. And thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe. I really want to reach 1,000 subscribers by next year, so hopefully I can do that. I will see you in my next video.